Alright guys, how's it going? For those of you who don't know me, my name's Simon Smith. I'm the Managing Director at Time for Property and I'm one of the Berkshire Property Brothers. And today in this video we're going to be talking about the difficulties of property investment, and if you hang around to the end I'll explain to you how to make that easy. Okay, so I'm just going to jump straight in. I'm going to talk about the things you need and the things you need to consider, and for the purposes of this video I'll explain it. I'll explain how we do it for ourselves and on behalf of our investors. So the things you need is time. You know, we do this full time, but then we do work with a lot of different investors. So and for ourselves as well. But you need the effort required. For us, it's effortless because we enjoy it, but you know there's hours of work put in every day. You need the knowledge required. Myself and my business partner, the other Berkshire Property brother, Tom Smith, we invested thousands of pounds and loads of hours and loads of research to make sure that we got this right. Yeah, so we got a mentorship program from a company that's done it for over a decade very successfully. You know, we've done the education program, hours of education, and yeah, loads of research into the locations that we were going to choose for property investment. Okay, difference between us and that mentoring company is they deal with properties up north and we do it in the south, and I'll explain more specifically where we do that a little bit later on. So time, effort, knowledge, and the last one is clear financial goals. You know, you need to be clear what you're trying to get out of property investment and why. Yeah, so for us, you know, at this point in our journey, we're going to be using the strategy of flipping houses because we want to raise a lot more capital over the next 18 months. And then following that, we'll look to be expanding the portfolio with buy-to-lets, getting the cash flow coming in, and then eventually move on to other things. Personally, I'd love to build a replica Shire from Lord of the Rings and do a serviced accommodation or, you know, a holiday home for that. In the future. Is it realistic? It is eventually. Is it realistic now? No. Clear financial goals. Okay. So once you've got those things that you need to then move on to the things you need to consider, okay, when investing in property. The first one is location. There are millions of properties in the UK available to invest in, but you've got to know your area. You know, we researched a number of areas. One of the areas we nearly went with was Swindon in Wiltshire. Excellent place for investment, but eventually, you know, through all that research, we've landed with Newbury, Berkshire. Newbury in Berkshire. So Newbury's very famous for its racecourse. You probably have heard of it. It's 45 minutes from London. Great transport links. It's on the M4 corridor. Loads of regeneration schemes, more to come. There's you've got Vodafone headquarters here, and you've got a very high demographic of people, which means that you're going to get good tenants. Yeah, and most importantly, you know, especially for us right now, is that the capital growth on properties here is higher than UK average. You know, like London, but unlike London, you need a lot less capital employed. So. Location, property type, we only deal with established houses, established buildings. The reason for that is, you know, things like new builds and stuff, issues can start to, you know, appear down the line. You know, grade listed buildings as well, you can't really modify. So strategy, which is next, our entry strategy is we get a house at a good deal, we add value to it through refurbs. And then our exit strategy is either flipping or buy-to-lets. But like I said, you know, at the moment we're flipping houses. But in terms of our investors, you know, that would be one or the other, or a combination of both, depending on how many properties they get. So that's location, property type, strategy. And then the fourth one was power team, you know, the professionals that you work with. We have fantastic relationships with some amazing professionals here. And the reason why we've chosen them, and there were many to choose from, is that these guys know what investment is all about. You know, they know that money loves speed, so they're very quick. Their customer service is great, so they're always in contact. You know, everyone knows what's going on at all times. But most importantly, they get the job done and they get it done quickly. Yeah. And then the last one is the right deal. You know, so in Newbury, Berkshire, for example, you can have a property that's almost identical, half a mile apart, and the difference in the value of those properties is 100k, yeah, which is a lot of money. So you need to know that you're paying the right amount for that property, and that amount is going to work for the strategy that you're using. You know, if you're going to flip the house, you know, ideally you're going to need to get it below market value to get, you know, maximum profits out of that after a refurb. If you're doing a buy to let, you know, especially with the interest rates on the mortgages now, you've got to know that you know, that mortgage amount, if it's not cash purchase, but certainly the amount you pay for the house you're going to get the return through the rental yield, you know, and it's going to, you know, wipe its own face, as they say. So you know, lots to consider, but very important, very necessary if you're going to do this right. And the things that you need. So in summary, things that you need: time, effort, knowledge, clear financial goals, things you need to consider: location, property type, strategy, both entry and exit, your power team, the thresholds you're going to work with, and getting the right deal. Okay. And I told you how to make this I was going to tell you how to make this easy. Quite simply, if you aren't willing to do any of those things or consider any of those things, simply get someone else to do it for you. Okay, that's what our investors do with us. Certainly is working for them, works for us as well, works for the vendors as well. You know, everyone's a winner when it comes to this. So if that is of interest to you, put TFP, which is Time for Property, put TFP in the comments. We'll set up a no obligation call to see what your goals are and if we can work with you. But if not, you know, hopefully you would have got some value out of that phone call. And if you are going to do this by yourself, all the best to you. It's super exciting. You know, we love it. There's a reason I'm stood here today talking to you about this. Is just because I am super passionate about this. You know, it's certainly been a life-changing thing for me in terms of, not just in terms of money, but you know, finding something that I really love doing. And I find really interesting. Yeah. If you have liked it, give me one of those, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. But until then, I'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye.